Hello everyone. Hi, I think I'm live. Happy World of Yoga Wednesday. This is Energy Flow Yoga. Popping my new swag. Thank you Sandy's and Waterloo for my amazing new sweatshirts. If you don't know me, my name's Ashley. I'm the yogi next door. And this is World of Yoga Wednesday. Oh, hi Rodrigo. So this is my World of Yoga Wednesday. I come on Instagram live every Wednesday. Oh, did you guys see that? Like a feather or something. Come on Instagram live every Wednesday, distraction, and teach you all or share something that I know about the world of yoga. So, this week, I chose our theme to be intentions. First is what intentions are, what setting an intention means, and then how intentions relate to yoga, the world of yoga, and then how we can use that knowledge, that practice, that part of our yoga practice in our daily life, in our real life, and taking it forward into our everyday life. So, why did I choose this? Why did I choose to talk about setting intentions this week? As you all know, 2020 is almost over. Thank God. It was a mess. 2020 was pretty crazy. There were a lot of bad things that happened. There were a lot of good things that happened as well, remembering our lessons of gratitude and gratefulness from last week. But yes, it was crazy. And I think like many of you, I'm ready for this year to end, even though it's really all just a big circle, right? It doesn't really end or begin, but it feels like we can kind of close the door on 2020. A lot of things, we can choose to have this be like a symbolic end to our 2020, starting a new year, starting fresh. And that means for a lot of people setting resolutions, New Year's resolutions, New Year's goals, goals you might have for the new year. Hello, yoga. Hi. So that's why I wanted to come on and talk about intentions, the difference between setting goals and setting an intention, how that looks in regards to the beginning of a new year, kind of the beginning of this new time that you can apply to any new season in your life, and how this all relates to yoga, and then how it relates to our normal everyday life. So I first want to kind of be clear about the difference between goals and intentions, and why I think it's important to set intentions and not so much to set goals, or not necessarily not to set goals, but just looking at it in a different way. So, or not necessarily different, but kind of my take on things. So I think so many people set New Year's resolutions and then promptly forget about them. I think I read something like 70% or 65 or 70% of New Year's resolutions are abandoned by like February. Come on, guys, like 1 month? That's crazy. And this is not because we don't have like the willpower in order to accomplish things. Like we all accomplish goals all the time, whether they be big or small. But why are New Year's resolutions abandoned so quickly? Why, like, if this is resonating with you, please like wave or send an emoji. Like if you've ever set a New Year's resolution and you have all the best like ideas behind it, and you thought, yes, like this is what I need to be doing. I need to, wake up every day at 6 a.m. and exercise and do this and this and this. And I'm going to like have all these goals. And then after like a few weeks, or even after maybe even you're like really stuck with it for a few months, and then it kind of fades away. I think this is so common with New Year's resolutions because we're really not setting an intention around that resolution. We're setting goals. And sometimes our goals can be very narrow-minded. They can be like almost laser focused on one specific thing, and they don't take into account the encompassing of all the other aspects of our life. For example, I looked up, this is probably not super scientific because I just did a Google search, but I looked up what are like the top resolutions that people make, and I'm sure you guys can all guess this. If you want to guess, put a comment in. Number one New Year's resolution that people made, I think this was just for the US, the one that had like the most scientific study was comparing all the different states, but over encompassing for the entire country, number one goal resolution was to lose weight. Number 2 was to exercise more frequently, which I feel like you could argue could one and be similar goals, right? And the third was to save money or like organize your finances, become more financially stable. So these 3 resolutions, these 3 goals that they're the most common goals that people made, they're not bad goals at all. It's not a bad goal to eat more healthy foods. And it's not a bad goal to exercise more, because exercise is good. It's good for your mind. It's good for your body. Oh, hi, Rena. So happy you're here. These are like totally legit goals. Definitely, like, I think these are good things to have in mind. But I think the reason people abandon them is because they go like so hardcore, so into that goal of I'm going to exercise more. They start exercising, like they start out first day, January 1st, 6 a.m. they're at the gym. January 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, they're like, oh my God, I'm so tired. This is too much. And it's because they've created this super narrow goal of exercising more without taking into account the all-encompassing vision that they want to create. This is why I like the concept of setting intentions instead of setting resolutions and goals. So let's get specific about what is an intention, what does that look like, and then how we can use that to kind of form our vision for the next year, for 2021. Which is definitely going to be better than 2020, guys. Mark my words. And I hope I don't regret saying that. Okay, so intentions versus goals. Goals are narrow focus. You have a very clear end point. Like once you've achieved, like if you say your goal is to lose weight, you say you're going to lose 10 pounds, you know once you see on the scale that you've lost 10 pounds that you've reached that goal. Whereas an intention that is related to that same goal of losing weight, you might say my intention is to live a healthier lifestyle. So that means exercising more, that means eating more healthy foods, that means drinking more water, for example, just because that is like the most common intention. We can kind of use that as an example. So whereas a goal is narrow focus, an intention is more of a vision for the path that you want to lead. It's more of an all-encompassing picture here. So to get kind of specific about what is an intention, it's an objective. I have all these notes here. You guys look at this crazy chicken scratch. Okay. It's an objective. It's a course of action. It's more like a guiding principle, an overarching ideal for the picture that you want to create for yourself. So when you create an intention and you are really clear and focused and connected with that intention, as it's something that's really calling to you, that you deeply feel that you want to see in your life, that if you really feel you want to lead a healthier lifestyle, when you picture yourself in 1 year from now, you know, where are you? What are you doing? Who are you with? What do you look like? How do you feel, most importantly? Those images, that image of our future self 1 year from now, that's where you build your intention from. So our intention, when we create, so intention literally is like a short statement that you make, and it's that specific statement, very clear, very precise, and it helps guide your decisions. When you have a very clear image of I want to have a healthier lifestyle than I have currently, and you really embody that intention, really take it on, really feel that it's the best outcome for your future self, that helps guide your actions and thoughts and emotions today. So if you're embodying this healthier lifestyle, and then today you think, okay, should I have a nice home cooked meal where I cook, you know, some fresh vegetables and maybe like a pasta, and I drink lots of water? Or am I just going to go like to McDonald's because I'm in a rush and I don't want to take the time to cook a nice meal? Obviously, this is like a very simplified example. And this is probably sounding like common sense, but it's important to think when you have a clear image of where you want to be, that helps decide how you get there. So I love this quote. I'm just pulling up on my computer so I get the exact quote from Alice in Wonderland, which is like one of my favorite all-time stories ever. And it has always stuck out to me. From the first time I read Alice in Wonderland, it has stuck out to me so clearly because it just so cleverly shows this concept of like the importance of setting goals, or not necessarily specific goals, but having a vision for your future. So Alice is walking down a path and she comes to a fork in the road and she sees the Cheshire Cat and she says, Cheshire Cat, tell me, which way should I go from here? And the cat replies, that depends a good deal on where you want to get to. And Alice says, well, I don't really care much where. And then the cat responds, then it doesn't matter which way you go. So, hello. Like, if you don't know where you're going, if you don't know where you want to get to, it doesn't matter what you do now. You can slump around all day and not work towards your future, and the future's going to come regardless. But if you have a vision for what you want in your life, if you have a vision for what you want in your future, then that can determine your actions today. If you want to live a healthier lifestyle, there's one small thing you can do today, regardless of how much time you have, regardless of financial issues. I think a lot of people, not necessarily making excuses, but their reasons for not, getting healthier. Maybe, I don't have money to buy organic food, or I don't have the money to start a gym membership. I don't have time to work out for an hour every single day. Right. Those are totally legit obstacles that people face. But I guarantee there's one small thing you can do today that will help you along that path towards your goal. No matter what your goal or your intention, your over-encompassing vision for the future might be. Okay, so another quote that I think that this is like definitely commonly overused, but I think it could be maybe overlooked a little bit, which I think is super important and relates to this concept of setting intention. And along the same vein of the Alice in Wonderland quote is begin with the end in mind. So when you have the end in mind, not necessarily the end, because, intentions can be constantly evolving throughout your life, but when you have a vision for what you want in the future, you can start making steps towards that now. So I love that quote too. So kind of going back to the concept of goals versus intentions, I like to think of goals as kind of a subset of intentions. An intention is like the overarching umbrella of what you want your future life to be, whereas a goal might be like one little piece under that. So your intention for next year, you say, okay, my New Year's resolution, this year I really want to focus on my health and start to live a healthier lifestyle. My intention is I am healthy. That's my intention. That is the feeling I want to cultivate in my life for 2021. I'm a healthy person. I'm full of life and abundance. That's the intention I want to create. So all these little goals, such as I want to exercise more, I want to eat healthier foods, I want to drink more water, I want to get consistent rest, I want to make time for, recuperation after exercising. Those are all specific small goals that all fit under this intention of our umbrella, kind of our overarching vision of what we want 2021 to be. So how does this all relate to yoga? Like, she's rambling on about New Year's resolutions and she hasn't mentioned one thing about yoga except for her sweatshirt. So yes, this all relates to yoga because, well, if you haven't taken a yoga class before, this might not seem to connect. If you have taken a yoga class, you're probably right along with me. But if you haven't, I'll just explain a little bit like how intentions fit into our yoga practice and then why that can be so useful taking into your everyday life. So typically at the beginning or near the beginning of a yoga class, we'll take a moment after, kind of dropping into our bodies, getting accustomed to our breath, getting, comfortable with our breath, kind of letting go of the distractions of the day. We'll take a moment to set an intention. And the teacher will cue you, to think of what are you needing today? What's calling to you? What could you use a little more of in your day today? And you'll have a few moments of silence where you can set an intention for your practice. So why do we do this? Why do we set an intention for our yoga practice? What's the point of it? And then how can it relate to our life? So imagine this is a little different now because, COVID, but we're rushing after work Usually, maybe you're going now from the couch to the living room, but, before maybe you're going in traffic and rushing after work, you're showing up at the class, you're, pulling on your leggings, you're running into the room. This is myself I'm describing, because I feel like I'm always constantly in a rush before I became a steady yoga practitioner. Sometimes I still am. And that's okay. We're not judging. We're just noticing. But, you're rushing in, you're frazzled, you're distracted, you're like running around hurriedly, running to your mat, and you plop down and you start practicing yoga. And imagine you just jump down and you start whipping out all these yoga moves. Okay, probably you're going to injure yourself, first of all, but you're not really listening to your mind and body, because your mind is in 10 other places. And so when we take a moment to sit, focus on what do we need? That's the first question. What do we need? What do we want to get out of this practice? Like, why am I showing up to yoga today? Why am I showing up to this class? What am I looking for? Am I looking very simply just to stretch my body? Am I looking, I just want to stretch my shoulders. My shoulders are really stiff and sore, and I just want to stretch my shoulders today. I don't want to think about anything else. All right, so then maybe my intention will be, I am present, because I'm not going to let all the distractions of the day come in and get in the way of me giving attention and love and stretches to my shoulders. So that is an example of how an intention can be used in yoga practice, and why we use intentions in our yoga practice, because it helps you get more out of the class. You take a moment to be present, be grateful for this time that you have for yourself, being curious and open-minded about what you're looking for. Why are you here? What are you searching for? And that's how we can use our yoga practice to use the same term, this concept of setting intentions. So we really take the time to set an intention in our practice. We're setting ourselves up for success. We're setting ourselves up to get the most benefits possible out of this class, because we're really taking a moment to evaluate, what do I want out of this practice? What do I need out of this practice? Like, why am I here? When I'm setting that specific intention, that's what I'm looking for in the class. I could do the same exact sequence of moves with an intention, I am joyful, and you can feel joy throughout the class. You're noticing poses that like make you, contort in a funny way. You might giggle. It'll feel totally like funny and happy. And then maybe the next day I do the same exact class, but I go in with an intention of, I am strong. Wow, that's a different feeling. I'm now focused. I'm steady. I feel powerful. That's a totally different experience emotionally and mentally that I'm getting with a different intention. My body's still doing the same exact move probably, but I'm getting a totally different benefit from the class. So the importance of setting the intention is noticing, what do I want out of this and what do I need out of this? If I had a super stressful day, I need to let go of all of those things. I need to be present in this moment, focusing on my breathing, focusing on my breath. Notice any emotions that are coming up, or notice any thoughts that are coming up. And this is exactly how our yoga practice helps us with this practice of setting intentions in our everyday life. So when we practice this with our yoga class, specifically when I do intentions in yoga class, at the end of our class, I invite students to recall the intention they set. Notice how it maybe affected their practice that day. Like if you set the intention, for example, to be joyful, did you enjoy practice? Did you feel joy during our practice today? And then if it's useful for you, if it's still calling out to you, if it still feels like you want to bring that forward into the rest of your day, bring it forward into the rest of your day. Keep that intention going into the rest of your day. So that's how our yoga practice can be so useful, just in the simple practice of setting intentions. Like, how does that look, the process of setting intentions? We first evaluate, what do we want and need? That's our practice when we're looking at our setting resolutions for the new year. Looking forward to December 2021, what do I need in this year? What do I want this year to look like, to feel like? Where do I want to be? How do I want to be? How do I want to show up in life? Do I want to make, what are my priorities for this coming year? That's what intention setting is all about. And it's so, like, yoga is so, I mean, you guys know I'm obsessed, to say the least. But yoga is just so useful for this practice when it comes to all these other areas of our life, because when we do that daily practice every day, we show up to our mat, we're doing, even if it's just a breathing practice or a meditation or our asana, our physical yoga practice where we're moving in and out of poses, when we take the time to listen and tune in, that's the first thing, listening and tuning in. What do I need in this moment? What do I want? What do I need? And then making that commitment to commit to that intention so that I get the most benefits out of this practice. Like, if I'm going to show up to practice and I'm not even there mentally and I'm just going through the poses and I'm not even thinking about what I'm doing, okay, yes, maybe technically speaking, I'll stretch my muscles. And that's it. And that's not necessarily bad. Some days that's all we need. Some days that's all we can, like, have the capacity to handle. And that's totally true. And that's totally cool. But if we can get more out of it, if we can get not only the disengagement of our brain, but maybe the resting in our brain, the recuperation we might need for our brain, that's, like, even more beneficial. So this concept of setting the intentions for the new year, yoga is so helpful with that. It teaches us to tune in and listen, teaches us to honor that commitment we've made by setting that intention, whether you say it in your head or out loud. And I think it can be super useful for being focused on what you want, what you need, and just that overarching vision. And then you can go in and make the specific goals that meet that vision and honor all parts of the circle, all parts of your life. Because I think a main reason, kind of going back to where we started about what are New Year's resolutions, like, why do people set them and then why do they abandon them quickly? I think when people make New Year's resolutions, oftentimes they're laser focused on that one thing. They're laser focused on, I want to lose 10 pounds. They think they need to lose 10 pounds for whatever reason, usually probably an exterior source telling them you should lose 10 pounds because if you're 10 pounds lighter, it's better, which is obviously ludicrous and doesn't make any sense. When you look at it from an intention perspective instead of a goal perspective, why do you want to lose 10 pounds? The intention is the why. Why are you wanting to lose 10 pounds? Is it because you want to live a healthier lifestyle? All right, so there's more involved than just losing the 10 pounds, because you can go be super focused and lose that 10 pounds just like that. If you're really focused, you disregard every other facet of your life. You work out 10 hours a day in the gym. You stop eating and only drink water, and then, eat a cube of cheese when I feel like I'm going to faint, to quote Devil Wears Prada. You can lose the 10 pounds, but you're going to be miserable. You're going to completely neglect your self-care. You won't be sleeping well. You won't have any time for your friends or family or partner or yourself. So you're not going to be happy. You won't have achieved the true meaning of your intention to lose 10 pounds, which is to be healthier. Whereas if you start from a point of intention, you have the intention, I'm going to live a healthier lifestyle. All right, that means cooking more meals at home than ordering out. That means exercising a few times a week, or exercising one time a week. If you're currently doing no times a week, maybe just once. Challenging yourself to take the stairs instead of the elevator next time you go somewhere, which, no one goes anywhere now, but, in case you ever go somewhere. So that's the difference of intentions versus our resolution goal mindset. That's the power of intentions, giving us that ability to see the big picture. Then you go in and add all the little, it's like the big picture, and then the pixels are the goals. Those tiny little pieces are all of the specific goals that you want to accomplish. So, everyone, I'm done rambling. I'm so sorry. I probably went on longer than intended. But I just want to tell everyone, I want to be the first from everyone at Energy Flow Yoga to wish you a happy new year. I'm so proud of you for making it through this year, because there were a lot of challenges, a lot of obstacles, a lot of things thrown in our path. And if you made it here, I'm very proud of you. And you should be proud of yourself. Just take a moment to thank yourself for being here, for showing up, Even if it's in the smallest way, even if it's just getting out of bed today, brushing your hair, brushing your teeth. Sometimes that's all we can do, and that's a lot to accomplish on those days. So even those days, I'm super proud of you guys. Take a deep breath. The year's almost over. Take a moment today and imagine in your mind fast forwarding to December 30th. It's the 30th today. Yeah, tomorrow's the 31st. December 30th, 2021. And what do you look like? Not just what do you look like what is your hair like, but what do you look like? What does your life look like? How are you showing up in your life? Are you present? Are you being mindful of yourself and others, of the important people in your life? What's going on? What are the important things to you? What are your priorities for the coming year? From that place, from that mindset, set some intentions for the new year. And if you're watching on the replay or if you're watching live, I'd love to hear some intentions you have for the new year. And I don't want to hear, I want to lose 10 pounds. If you really, really want to lose 10 pounds for a good reason, then I want to hear the overarching intention. What is your reason why? I'm not saying losing 10 pounds is necessarily on its own a bad thing, but I think sometimes we come from a place of external expectations instead of internal motivation. So everyone, have a wonderful Wednesday. Thank you so much for joining me on World of Yoga Wednesday. Go set some powerful intentions for the new year and then share those. Post them, write them on a poster, or write a sticky note on your mirror, write a note to yourself, put it on your phone, like your what's it called, wallpaper, like put on your wallpaper, make a pretty image, something that you feel inspired to look at. Maybe make a little, I was gonna say even in a picture frame, make a nice piece of art and put it in a picture frame. What is your intention for the new year? And then after you have that overarching image, then you can go maybe outline some specific goals that will help you create that ultimate vision, cultivate that lifestyle that you're intending, wink, wink, to create. So everyone have a wonderful Wednesday. Thank you so much for joining me, World of Yoga Wednesdays. Come back next Wednesday. See what I'm going to ramble about next Wednesday if you want, if I haven't driven you all crazy by now. And I love, love, love to hear what your intentions are for the new year. So I'll post this replay on my page. Feel free to come back and comment your intentions. Hope you all have a wonderful day. And I definitely want to say Happy New Year. 2021 is going to be a good one. Can feel it. So bye everyone. Have a good one. And as always, the light in me sees and honors the light in you. Namaste.